Jeffree's new palette, the Bloodlust.
I'm about to say it.
It's so fucking ugly to me. You know?
Don't try me. Kill yourself, faggot.
If I see her again, I'm going to fucking jail. Go in the parking lot, bitch.
Whatever. But I just... Alright, hi fairies. So in today's video, we're going to be trying out the BRETMAN Rock x Wet n Wild Jungle Rock collab. Everything except the mascara and the brushes because they're fucking brushes.
How dare you!
And the mascara wasn't available at Ulta, which is where I got everything. The day this launched at Ulta, I woke up at around like 10:30, 11 because I was up editing the night before. And you know, usually they give a launch time, especially for like these big influencer collabs too, but they didn't. So the first thing I do when I wake up is go on the Ulta website and that whole fucking collection is sold out online.
What the hell we gonna do now?
Also, I don't know why, but I got an ad for a game called Cunt Wars on the Ulta website. There is actually a thing that exists, and its name is Cunt Wars.
I would like to see it.
Oh my goodness!
But anyways, from there, I started calling around all my nearest Ultas, and pretty much everyone told me we're sold out of everything except the palette. To make a long ass fucking story short, my friend works next to one of the Ultas I called, so I was with her at her work, and then I went to the Ulta next door. Those bitches had everything in stock, everything except the setting spray.
This is for Rachel, you big, fat, white, nasty, smelling, fat bitch.
It's like, what the fuck, Ulta? This is why I have trust issues. But we still had a little dilemma because there was no setting spray. It was all sold out. That is, except for the tester.
Don't be fucking looking at me like that, dude.
I ended up tricking the lady at the register into selling me the tester. So I ended up buying the tester for full price. And there's, you know, there's not a lot missing.
I want it, I got it.
Basically what happened was the manager was checking me out and she was like, this is the tester, you can't buy this.
Mission failed!
But then someone the next register like over was having a problem or something, or they needed like the manager to help them do something. I don't know, maybe like an override or something. But anyways, the manager was like, oh, 1 second, someone else will help you. So the manager left and a different person came to help me. So the new lady comes and she's putting everything in the bag and she sees the setting spray and she's like, is this yours? And I'm like, yes, it is. I was able to buy the tester, so thank goodness for that. But yeah, so I have pretty much everything except the mascara and the brushes. Also, I only have one of the lip gloss shades, but I was able to see all of them at Ulta, and this is the prettiest one. So if you want to see if this BRETMAN Rock collection is a baddie just like him or just bad, then keep on watching. So the BRETMAN Rock 3-in-1 face mist is $8. The eyeshadow palette is $15. The gloss is $5 and the highlighter is $8. I have my base done, pretty much everything except for the products we're gonna be using. I didn't set my face. I'm just wearing, you know, foundation, eyebrows, the whole shebang. So the first product I think I want to try is the highlighter duo. This golden one right here is called Lioness and this other one on the other side is called Tigress. So the component of this highlighter duo is really cool. It has like the BR in it and it has these little like flappy things that open. So I'm not wearing any highlighter right now. This is just how my foundation looks. But I'm gonna take the golden one. Oh my god, this is so bright. I think it's fucking with my camera's like ISO balance. Okay, so this is how one cheek looks highlighted and ooh bitch. I don't know if it's coming through on camera, but there are definitely little pink sparkles in this one. I feel like just the way it is, a little bit of this one is supposed to be mixed in with Lioness. I feel like that's just the way it was made, but it is still really pretty. It's definitely giving me Fenty Beauty vibes. I feel like this is one where if you go in with setting spray, that's gonna be a fucking monster.
I just need a little more highlight on me. Yeah. I'll apply the rest.
Illegal.
This on its own is more than enough. Like I tapped off my brush even before putting it on. Let's do the nose. Ooh. That's really intense. Okay, I'm usually not a fan of blinding highlighters, but I feel like this one is so pretty. I feel like this would look good on a lot of skin tones, even though it is kind of like the lighter one in the duo. It doesn't really have a strong base. Kind of the same thing with Tigress, because I tried this one on my hand and it didn't leave like a brown cast. So why don't we go into a little bit of Tigress, the darker one, on this side just to see how it looks by itself. I'm just gonna go straight in like this.
Hello?
Alright, so I'm just gonna face this way completely so you can see. But this one, I don't know. In real life, it looks like a very sheer glitter. It's not really doing much for me. It is just a really chunky kind of pink glitter. You know, I feel like this one would be really pretty as eyeshadow, but I'm not too sure about a highlighter. It's a little bit too chunky of a glitter, and I feel like if you have any texture here, it would accentuate it. So this side is Lioness, the gold one, and this side is Tigress. Alright, so I just zoomed you guys in a little bit, and the next item we're gonna play with is the palette. So this is how how the palette looks. It's so freaking gorgeous. You get 15 colors for $15, so it's $1 for each one.
$1.
These shimmers in here look so freaking promising. Finally, because for those of you that have been with me for a while, you know I'm very oftentimes disappointed with the brand shimmers. They're always either not glittery enough, they're not impactful enough, they're just so fucking boring and frosty.
Flap and flotsam, what's that?
This one looks like the green one from the Mothership 2. That one is just mesmerizing. It's one of my favorite eyeshadow shades of all time, and bitch, I might have a dupe for it right here.
Now come on now.
You know, I'm so thankful there's no fucking pastels in here. So many brands recently have been releasing like ugly fucking pastel shit that looks like some Easter candy. You know, I don't want to be shady, but I'm gonna be shady.
The tea is exceptionally good today.
Jeffree's new palette, the Bloodlust.
I'm about to say it.
It's so fucking ugly to me. You know,
Don't try me. Kill yourself, faggot.
If I see her again, I'm going to fucking jail. Go in the parking lot, bitch.
whatever. But I just feel like, yeah, it's colorful, but it's pastel. You know, I want to say this is colorful done right. These are shades that every skin tone can pull off. Because the thing about pastels is any skin tone can pull them off, but you need to use like different bases. Like every time I watch a person with darker skin on YouTube using a pastel, they always have to go in with like the P. Louise white base or a really, really white base. Because if the pastels aren't pigmented enough, it can come across as really ashy and chalky, and that's never cute. So right off the bat, I'm really glad that this does not contain any freaking pastels. I know I'm talking like way too much and y'all just want me to dip in. But one more thing is I wish there was a mirror here. And I get that it's like a cheaper brand, but I have other cheaper palettes like from Alter Ego, for example. You know, these bitches come with mirrors in them, and I think this one's like $14. So while I'm doing my makeup with this, you might see me use like this palette as a mirror because there's no mirror in here. One more thing before we get started, I promise I'll make this really quick.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
When I'm reviewing a super colorful and like versatile palette like this, I will always try and create two different looks on each of my eyes. One side will be like a wearable everyday side, and the other one will just be like carnival, like some colorful vomit shit. So I just prime my eyes with my Alter Ego eyeshadow base. You can get this for 10% off using my discount code Liam10. So on the more everyday side, even though I call it everyday, I'm actually going to be using Big Peacock Energy. I'm going to try and do like a brown and green, very Slytherin look. Firstly, to start off, I'm going to take the shade up here, Coconut Connoisseur, and I'm going to set my primer with that. This is just going to make sure everything blends out nice and smoothly. Also, like Coconut Connoisseur, wasn't there like a meme on Twitter? Jeffree Star crying, Tati crying, James Charles crying, BRETMAN Rock, this coconut water has pulp in it. I remember something like that.
I would give Sun Tropics coconut juice a 6 out of 10. I just feel like it needs a little bit more flavor.
Yeah, he's one of the few beauty gurus I actually still like. I don't even like myself, honestly. You guys always comment stuff like that one dislike is from so-and-so. Girl, that one dislike is from me and God.
God hates facts. God hates...
So one thing I noticed is this shade is really powdery. We're gonna dip into the other ones to see if the whole palette is powdery, but I just want to show you up close.
Oh, wow.
Its fallout went all over the other shades. Do you see how deep those indentations are? And this is my first time using it. Hopefully the other shades aren't gonna be like this because I really want to like this palette. Like, I really want to like this palette. So I think in my crease on this side, I'm gonna take the shade Ape Shit. Okay, so this one's not as powdery as Coconut Connoisseur.
Very good.
And I'm just gonna pop this in my crease. Ooh. All right, so I only dipped my brush in once, and this is what I got. Now that is what I'm gonna fucking talk about. Now the next shade, I'm a little bit torn because there's not really a lighter like beige color I can use to blend it out. So I think I'm gonna have to mix some shit, which is kind of gay, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
You know, you really shouldn't say that.
Say what?
Well, say that something's gay when you mean it's bad. It's insulting.
But yeah, so I'm gonna take a little bit of Ape Shit and mix it with Pounce on them, this orange right next to it. I'm just going to use that to blend out the Ape Shit shade. I think that's getting a little bit too warm tone for me now, so I'm gonna go back into Ape Shit and just tap that shit off and just use that to blend. All right, so this is how it looks blended out, and I know it looks intense, but trust the process. So next to do my bottom lash line, I'm gonna go into Ape Shit once again using a really tiny brush. This Ape Shit shade so far is one of my favorites. I feel like it's going on really nice and true to color. All right, so I think I blended this one a little bit too harshly. My bad.
My bad, I'm sorry.
So I'm gonna go back into Coconut Connoisseur, and I'm just gonna soften the edges using this shade. All right, so I think we're ready to try out Big Peacock Energy. I'm so fucking excited. I'm gonna be taking it on this flat paintbrush. This is not setting sprayed. This stuff feels so amazing. I just know this is gonna be good. If it's not, I'm gonna be surprised.
She's a legend, and she is the moment.
Bitch, this is like some Pat McGrath shit. Girl, Wet n Wild, you have done it again. Constantly raising the bar for us all. You guys, I'm gonna go to my friend's house and get her Pat McGrath palette and swatch these two next to each other because I legit think we have a good dupe for Pat McGrath on our hands. You know, obviously the eye look isn't done yet, but just look at so far. Like, imagine me going to the Oscars. I'm so fucking impressed with that. Now, anyways, to do my inner corner, I'm gonna take the shade Prowl right here. So I'm gonna take that shade and put that in my inner corner. Tell me this does not look like the Pat McGrath palette, like the ads for the Pat McGrath palette.
She's got a point.
So one thing I always do is I'll take a little bit of the lighter shimmer and I'll extend it onto my lid. So I'm just gonna like mix in a little bit of this lighter one right there. Now I know this kind of glittery formula is not for everyone, but I honestly think you guys just try it.
Just smell it.
It'll still be really pretty for every day. It's not too intense, but it's also like, look at my fucking eyes. But yes, I feel like this eye is pretty much done. This is our a little bit more like everyday side. Now this is definitely not every night side. There we go. But I'm gonna do mascara, lashes, and waterline liner when we're pretty much done with both eyes. So for now, let's move on to the crazy colorful side. So for this one, I think I want to try out these like purples and shit, but before we do that, I'm gonna go into Coconut Connoisseur again and just set the primer. I'm gonna dip into this one right here called Feline Myself, and I'm just gonna put that into my crease like so.
That is amazing. Wow.
Okay, I was not expecting that level of opacity.
Caught me off guard. I did not expect it.
Really, really impressive. I think to blend that one out, I'm gonna take the shade Flamingo. It's the pink one. Ooh, I can tell this is gonna blend out really nice because I just started touching it and it's already getting so diffused. So this is how it looks when those two colors are blended, and these two are so pretty when coupled together. I feel like I lost a bit of the richness of the purple when I was blending the pink on top, but it's like barely. I still think these two colors though paired together are like meant to be. I feel like that's like why they're right on top of each other too. So I'm going to apply a little bit more of Feline Myself on my bottom lash line. All right, so this is how all of the mattes on this side of the look are doing. They're doing pretty damn well. They just mesh together so freaking pretty. Now let's move on to the metallics. So I think I want to take this shade right here deeper. Now this is, I think you can tell a little bit on camera, this one is a little bit more frosty.
No ma'am.
The shade Don't Be Lying and this one down here deeper are the two frost in the palette, whereas this one, this one, this one, and this one are the new kind of glitter formula. And these are not the pressed plastic glitters. These are the environmentally safe mineral glitters. So when I touch this one, holy shit, that's kind of not that good.
Very bad.
It feels like it's been pressed just a little bit too hard, but I'll try with a brush, and if that doesn't work, I'll go in with my finger on top. And I'm gonna take this and just press this on the center of my lid.
I mean, let me ask the audience.
Yeah, that one's not that good. This is how it looks on the brush. I pressed really freaking hard to get this much on the brush, by the way. Do you kind of see how in the pan it looks so gorgeous, but when you put it on, it's a little bit like sheer and frosty. It's just so stiff. So that's definitely disappointing, but I'll take my pinky finger and I'm gonna go right into that beach and swirl it in. And I'm gonna press this onto my lid just like that. You can see it's just not layering up. Come on. What the fuck? Oh my god. Pressing really hard, getting a lot of product on my finger like that. Like, do you see the difference between the pan and the way it applies? Whereas this one right here, like Big Peacock Energy, all you need, fully coated finger. And with deeper, I like rub like this. You guys saw me rub so hard with this one, but this one, all you need. It's not even like disappointing compared to the other ones. It's just flat out disappointing.
I'm a failure.
But I'm gonna turn off the camera. I'm gonna try and get deeper to work. I'm gonna try setting spray. I'm gonna try licking my finger. I'm gonna try everything. So I will be right back. All right, so I'm back and I think I got a nice little result here going. How I got it to look like this is I just ended up going back and forth with my finger. And it took
a long periodically time.
So I don't really think deeper in here is a good shade at all. It's like barely usable. And also Anaconda, this one, the other one I don't like. I'm just gonna show you what I mean. I'm gonna take it on a little brush and I'm just gonna stick it in my inner corner. You can't really build this one up to get a nice result. It's really, really sheer. But anyways, I don't like how that looks. I'm going to cover it right now. I'm gonna try out the Tigress one again. So I'm going to wet the little flat paintbrush with some of the setting spray. And then I'm gonna take that in my inner corner like that. Oh, that's pretty. It's just so pretty on the brush. Too bad it doesn't work that well as a highlighter. All right, so this is how our colorful side is looking. I feel like it does look a little bit dark in my inner corner. The bronze base of Tigress does come through when you spray setting spray on it. Low-key Tigress saved this side. Now I'm going to pop on some mascara and lashes, and I will see you in just a second. I forgot to mention that the Big Peacock shade did leave a lot of fallout under my eyes, but it was probably because I used a dry brush. All right, so I'm back. Lashes are on, and these are the Alter Ego lashes in the style Amour. Now, while I was gone, I forgot to highlight my brow bone because I wanted to take the shade Don't Be Lying to highlight my brow bone, so I'm just gonna do that now. And I'm gonna use this on both sides just to highlight my brow bone. Oh, that's pretty. All right, so we're pretty much done with the palette. Now, I'm gonna say everything at the end of the video, but what I will say right now is I'm definitely impressed, especially with Big Peacock energy right here. All right, so next we're gonna be testing out the lip gloss. This is in the shade Ferocity. Now, I only have this shade, but I did get this at the Ulta store, and I compared it to the other ones, and this is the sparkliest, prettiest one out of all of them. It's full of these golden sparkly glitters. It's very whorish.
Unleash my inner whore.
Love that. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the MAC Dazzle glosses. Now, this is allegedly supposed to smell like tropical flowers, and it really doesn't. It just smells exactly like their normal gloss, the Wet n Wild High Shine Catsuit. I have one of those, but it's in my drawer and I don't feel like getting up. It kind of smells like bubblegum and feet. Like, that's honestly what this smells like. It doesn't smell like flowers at all.
I don't know who this man is.
Before I apply that though, I do have one of Wet n Wild's original Color Icon glosses. They discontinued these a while back, and I just wanted to point out the similarity in packaging. So even though like the component style and applicator of these is the same, the actual product is not. This one, the BRETMAN Rock one, feels a lot thicker. I'm gonna be applying this on my bare lips with no lipstick underneath. All right, so this is how the gloss looks by itself on my lips. I'm not gonna apply a lipstick underneath because I really just want to show you guys how this looks by itself. It's a pretty nice gloss. It reminds me a little bit, like I said earlier, of the MAC Dazzle gloss. I will say though that the MAC gloss is a little bit thicker, but this is a relatively thick gloss. It's not sticky, but it's definitely almost like gel-like, which I like, and it's very comfortable too. So the last thing we get to try is the Jungle Rock setting spray. Now, this was sitting on my desk for like maybe an hour, and you can see it like separates and it becomes clear, but you just like shake it. It's pretty interesting. So this is a 3-in-1 facial mist. Now, Wet n Wild actually does have another 3-in-1 facial mist. This smells like coconut. It's so yummy, but they also have a coconut 3-in-1 facial spray that smells identical. So these products have the same name. They're both called 3-in-1 facial mist. However, this one doesn't have all like the sparkles in it. This one just looks like water, and also the component is way smaller. But I do want to say one thing that not a lot of people are talking about. This contains alcohol.
Cut the cameras.
Now, alcohol in makeup is a hot topic to say the least, but alcohol in setting spray is kind of like a normal thing. Like, there's alcohol in the Urban Decay setting spray, there's alcohol in the Huda one. Like, there's a lot of setting sprays with alcohol in them. However, not all setting sprays claim to be primers, because this on the bottom says you can prime with it, set with it, refresh with it. Now, I just want to say, don't use this as primer. I didn't use this as primer when I applied my makeup, because if you apply alcohol straight to your bare skin, it could dry out your skin, and you could get a really, really bad reaction to it, because you really do need a barrier on your face. You need a barrier of makeup, of moisturizer, of something before you spray this on your face, because if you let the alcohol touch your bare skin, you might get a really bad reaction to it. So I just wanted to put that out there, that the claim of this being primer or prepping spray, I don't believe that.
2 shots of vodka.
Jesus Christ.
And it's weird because their other 3-in-1 facial spray, this one, even though it has the same name, this one actually does not contain alcohol. So this one is a true 3-in-1. You know, you can use this to prime your face because it doesn't have alcohol, whereas this one does. So this is a 2-in-1 really, not a 3-in-1. But I will say I did notice that alcohol-based setting sprays tend to do a better job at setting makeup, like they actually do something. And typically the ones I've noticed, like the super long wearing setting sprays, those tend to be alcohol-based setting sprays. So like the Urban Decay All Nighter, that one has alcohol in it. The Huda one, that has alcohol in it. And those, a lot of people say they increase the wear of makeup by a lot. Now, before I actually spray this on my face, I want to talk about the component, because it's not only really cute and really cool, but also the nozzle, or the atomizer, I think that's what it's called. The nozzle of this is special.
What are you, fucking gay?
Like, this is just a random thing. So the pretty much normal nozzle we're all used to seeing is the kind where you just push down and it squirts out like this. Now, what makes this one so special is I've seen nozzles like this on Cover FX and Marc Jacobs setting sprays, generally very high-end brands. But basically, you can change the amount of pressure you push down on this, and it can give you a continuous stream. So like this. Now, I know that might not sound like a big whoop, but it kind of is because you could mist your whole face with just one pump of this. And you can also change how much you want coming out in your spray. So if you only want to do a half spray, you could just do that. In my mind, I compare these kind of nozzles to those drawers that don't slam shut. They kind of just close a little bit on their own. Oh, it smells so good in here because I was just spraying this. That's some good shit. So like 3 squirts and that's all you really need. Now, one thing I noticed is it has a lot of those like glitters. Like there's definitely a pigment suspended in this. Now, minus the pigment, this on its own dries down to a dewy finish. As you can see, we still look a mad dewy. This looks super metallic, but in real life, it just looks like little sparkles. It's very subtle. I'm noticing more just the overall dewiness of that setting spray. All right, so this is how all of the products look on my face. You know, everything worked really, really well, but I do have a few little critiques or little, I don't want to say criticisms, but things to keep in mind when you're buying. Number 1 is about the eyeshadow palette. Everything in here is so freaking nice except for these 2 right here. They're just like bad eggs. These are bad formulas where everything else is really, really nice. You know, it's not like, oh, you know, if you're into that, it's like no one wants a sheer blue that is like chalk and no one wants a shadow that doesn't show up. Coconut Connoisseur, it's okay. It's just very, very powdery and I barely used it and there's a huge indentation where my brush was. First row is just kind of like weird. There's something off about this first row, but everything else, cover those bitches. Everything else in here was freaking amazing. Next critique is the highlighter duo. Now, Lioness, the gold one, which cheek? This cheek. It's really, really pretty. It does have a little bit of pink glitter and I know some people don't like glitter in their highlights. It's up to you. Now, the other shade, Tigress, this bronzy one, you could use this one as a highlighter topper. It's a very chunky glitter where you don't really see the bronze base unless you use it with setting spray. Like you can see my inner corner is looking a little bit dark, but I feel like Lioness, I feel like more people would be going in with Lioness, you know what I mean? And lastly, the setting spray. I feel like touching my skin, it's not as sticky and powdery as it was feeling before. It's like dewy and shiny, but it's like locked in. Like I don't feel like my makeup is going anywhere. Just to demonstrate, let me take the back of my algebra homework. A little bit of lip gloss got right there, but you can see relatively nothing. Like, there's nothing that comes off. Something about setting sprays with alcohol always makes them superior as setting sprays to non-alcoholic setting sprays. You know, don't use this as primer.
Don't do it.
But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you had a laugh, and if you're not subscribed, I always encourage you to join the Fairy Kingdom. I'll see you very, very soon. Bye.
Child. Anyway, so